Suhas from Pune, India asks, you keep saying when the interests go up. What event will trigger the rise? Who controls the interest rates? If it's the Fed, then why couldn't they keep it low forever?
The reason that the Fed can't keep interest rates low forever is because the more money they print to keep interest rates low, the less the dollar is worth and the faster prices will rise. And ultimately, it's not going to do the government any good if it can borrow money cheaply if that money doesn't give any value, any purchasing power to the people they give it to. So that ultimately is going to stop the Fed from artificially suppressing interest rates, is going to be the bottom dropping out of the dollar. Because the way the Fed keeps interest rates from going up is by buying bonds at inflated prices. The Fed overpays for bonds so that the yield on those bonds is lower than it otherwise would be. But in order to do that, the Fed has to create money out of thin air. So now the money supply goes up, and now money has less value. And of course, the more money the Fed prints to buy bonds to keep interest rates down, the less attractive the dollar is, the less attractive those bonds are to any private holders. So now there's even more pressure to sell them. There's even more upward pressure on interest rates, which means the Fed has to print even more money to keep them artificially low. And eventually, it can't do it anymore. Either it has to let interest rates skyrocket and prevent the dollar from collapsing completely, or it continues to print to keep interest rates low as long as possible, and in the process completely destroys the dollar, and you have hyperinflation. And it's that threat of hyperinflation that ultimately will force the Fed's hand, and it will result in a big increase in rates.